Mr. Joey.
Mr. Mark.
Happy episode 92.
Happy episode 92. I like that we came dressed accordingly.
We did. All thanks to the man behind the scenes.
Yes.
Mr. JP Kelly.
We have super special guest, Mr. JP Kelly, who makes all of our listings shine and sparkle.
Yeah, he gets into it. He tells us his favorite spot to eat in the city. He gets us some really cool swag hats. And we just have a good conversation about design and real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Enjoy.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savell.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate, working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Mr. Joey.
Mr. Mark.
Mr. JP.
Hello.
Whoa.
I love it.
JP is a very special person.
Yes. We need a proper introduction for this man.
Oh, I got a proper one.
Okay.
I'll start with my informal one.
Okay.
So JP is probably our first and longest, next to Adriana S., fan of the show.
Okay.
I like clockwork, Monday or Tuesday, depending on when we upload the podcast, we'll get a message from JP.
Literally, yes, 100%. Actually, one of my favorite Photoshops that has ever come to my inbox has been from this man.
Which is on point because most of the pretty things we get in our inbox are from this man.
Well, it's a team effort, but
for this podcast, this man gets all the credit. So we'll get right into it. We've got Mr. JP Kelly. He is the head of can I call you the head of the studio?
Yeah.
Studio director at Sage Real Estate. You got a background in advertising, graphic design, photography. You kind of deal with all the in-house stuff for the brokerage, and the close notice is you make our listings look really, really damn good.
We try to, yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, one of the unique things about Sage is we have our own in-studio design company. Mm-hmm. And JP's the head of it, and he's the one who makes everything really great. And coupled with the fact that he's been such a good supporter of the podcast, we thought, who better to have on the show than Mr. JP Kelly?
I'm glad to be here, yeah.
Cool. So you know what we do every week? We ask, how was your week and where'd you eat? And since you're the star of the show, we're going to ask you, where's the one place that we need to eat?
Oh wow, okay. Well, my go-to, because it's around my hood, is I always hit up Lemongrass on Bayview.
Huh.
Okay.
It's my go-to green curry chicken. I get the same thing every time, green curry chicken and chicken spring rolls, and I get the same thing every time. That's like my go-to treat. It's my go-to whatever I want to get it. I just had it on Saturday. I don't know. I don't travel much, but the one place I was in was Thailand. And when I was there, they taught us how to make green curry chicken. Huh. And since I've come back, that's the place that I go to. It's well priced. It's filling. It's just like my cozy meal that I like to get to.
I wouldn't pick you as a green curry chicken guy.
Learn something new on that.
I don't know what a green curry chicken looks like, but yeah, no. Well, I mean, I'm a steak guy, but you have to branch out. Apparently, you're not allowed to eat steak every day. It's bad for you.
So they say. So go to, what's it, Lemongrass?
Lemongrass on Bayview, yeah.
Ask the JP special to know what
they may not know it as the JP special, yeah.
And in terms of, okay, so where do you eat? What I liked, or one thing I want to highlight is that you're a big fan of the Leafs.
Well, the Maple Leafs baseball team.
Asterisks, yes. We're still reeling from the loss of Game 7. I'm trying to avoid conversing about it as much as possible. I was in the building. It was terrible. So we're not going to talk about it. But we do want you to talk about the Toronto. Are they the Toronto Leafs or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
It's the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball club.
Club. Okay.
Yeah. So we started watching them, me and a couple of the guys invited me to say, hey, there's this free game in the park. Let's go heckle some baseball pitchers. So they invited us to the park. Originally there's 6 of us. We're known around the league as the Bushmen. But we basically sit up in the bushes on Christie Pitts in front of third base, and we just heckle pitchers. Very family friendly.
Yeah.
But Maple Leafs baseball has been around for like ever. I think the first Maple Leafs baseball team was started in 1896. Ooh. They used to play on the island there, on Toronto Island, at the stadium there. Yeah. And that's where like Babe Ruth hit his first home run in that stadium.
Wow. Oh, is this the famed one that went out of the stadium?
Yeah, his first like professional home run was hit there. And so then few years further, there's like the Inter-County Baseball League, which is where they play.
Yeah.
So I think this is their 107th season.
Wow.
But it's just incredible. Like, it's free.
Yeah.
You can go to Christie Pitts, you just bring a blanket, sit on the lawn, watch the game. The pitchers can definitely hear you because it's not very far away. And they've got some great new ownership. Left Field Brewery's there. They're allowed to sell beer in the park.
Amazing.
You can just bring your own beer. You can heckle pitchers, just get
What
after
more do you
them.
want?
Yeah, it's a great time.
And on that note, I did
Oh.
bring you guys your very own.
Oh, get out of here.
So you're-
Oh my God.
So that's their trademark logo. So it's been around longer than the Maple Leafs. So you can wear this one, even though your Leafs lost. You can now cheer right on
We
until
keep
September.
going.
Yeah, just
We're
keep
gonna
on
get
going.
new
Wow.
mustaches going. We gotta get JP beards after this, man.
The Bushmen.
Yeah.
We're officially in. Thanks so much for this, man.
Yeah. appreciate it.
It's great. It's a great thing to watch if you're in Toronto. It's like the best free thing to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's totally affordable, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing.
Just show up,
And
yeah.
it's all, they sell swag, they have hot dogs, and you can just get after it and yell at pitchers.
Yeah.
They definitely hear you. Yeah.
Is it a weekend thing?
Yeah, they play every Sunday at 2 p.m.
Okay.
in Christie Pitts.
Yeah.
And then they have a schedule, so they go to various places like the London Majors. They go to London and stuff too. So sometimes they do have night games and stuff at Christie Pitts too. But
Love it.
It's guaranteed every Sunday at 2. They always have, that's their usual home game. Yeah.
If you're looking for JP, Bushes, right by the third
Yeah,
base.
you'll hear us before you see us. So yeah, but,
Can you give me an example of like the most family friendly?
Heckle, you got?
well, it's just basically if any of the pitchers. I mean, you just got to be careful what you wear. Like last week, a pitcher came out with yellow cleats. Come on, so they just opened up the whole thing, and
Yeah.
we just get after it. Whatever we can get after, we can. Just being friendly. We don't curse or anything like that.
I like
Just
that.
friendly. Just chirping at the pitchers. And,
I like that. Some family friendly chirping.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
Christie Pitts.
yeah, and they can hear you because there's quite an echo on those hills, and they're not very far away.
Have you ever combined your love of lemongrass Thai food and a Sunday game?
No, I haven't. No, we do a little bit of drinking at the Sunday games, and I don't know how it would all carry over. But and the hill, it's quite the calf workout. Like it is on
Yeah.
a slant. You are stood up, cheering and yelling,
Yeah.
and we come up with chants for our own team too. We're kind of like the TFC supporter section,
Right
right?
on.
So we do come up with our own chants for our own players and stuff. But you are stood there too, and yeah, I don't think it'd be.
We gotta
Joining in
yeah,
this? I
yeah,
like
yeah.
this idea.
Live to air.
Well, now we got the hats. We absolutely.
Bushman's expanding. I love it. All right. Well, that's I think a good little primer into what we got in store for us today.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Really thrown off by these hats. I secretly have always admired them because I've seen you post them and I was like, pretty cool hat. And then now that we got them, I'm like, yeah,
It's a very
amazing.
cool logo, yeah.
So let's maybe start with kind of the intro. Like what got you into design in the first place? Has this been like a childhood thing or was this like a...
Well, I always was into art and everything as a child, all going through school and stuff. I won't date myself too much, but back when I was in high school, no one ever talked about graphic design or anything like that. So when I came out, I went to university and I got a really good job with the city. I'm from Newfoundland, so I got a really job with the city back in Newfoundland. So I actually worked for the government for 9 years before going into graphic design.
Okay.
And I kind of gave all of that up and said, where do I want to be 10 years from now? And gave all that up and kind of went into graphic design and just never looked back.
Kind of followed your passion.
Followed my passion.
Your government work was nothing design or creative related?
No, I had worked in a couple of print shops when you bounce around in different departments and things,
Yeah.
but it was nothing creative at all. It
Wow.
was just government work, union work,
Yeah.
just working at City Hall and stuff like that. So
Right.
it wasn't, I just looked at, okay, how exciting is this? Am I going to be fulfilled by this 10 years from now? And it just kind of, graphic design called me, and I kind of looked into every school I could around in Newfoundland and elsewhere as far as BC, and I ended up landing in one in Ontario and then moved to Toronto and been here ever since.
Now you're getting the Leaf hats coming out.
now we're Leafs hats. The baseball team.
Yes. Gotta keep that clear. So was Sage the first creative company you worked with?
Yes, yeah. I
wow.
actually moved, when I graduated, I moved straight to Toronto and started at Sage 3 days later.
Holy crow.
Oh, get out of
And
here.
I have been at Sage 14 years in June.
Right on.
Good on you.
So
Time
I-
for Larry to buy you a gold watch, I think. 14 years is the magic year.
yeah.
So one thing that so Sage in general, I find has they have such good structure and systems in play. What does it look like on a day to day in that room? I see you guys every time I walk in there. You guys are dialed in. Yeah, you're so dialed in and just in the midst of whatever you guys are doing. I imagine there's lots of structure and lots of orchestration to what's happening in there.
Oh, absolutely. We sometimes hope that we make it look easy, but we're very, very process oriented. We have processes on top of our processes and processes for those processes and lists on top of lists. And every morning we sit down and meet and go through all the listings for the day and all the marketing and all the design work that we're working on today. And just to make sure, not only just to make sure that we don't miss anything, but to make sure that everybody's in a good environment where they're not overwhelmed with stuff and we can share the workload and work together. So we have all kinds of processes for everything we do. And we've got, almost like a key. If you looked at my to-do lists, you may not even understand it. There's just
coded.
It's all coded and color-coded. Everyone in the studio, there's 11 of us, including me. Everyone has their own color.
Right.
What's your color?
I am Clover Green.
Clover Green. Spoken like a true design guy. Clover Green. Okay.
Yeah, my last name's Kelly. It's also important to remember it's Clover Green. I'm Irish.
There you go. And what about the evolution of the design studio? We were at the Bayview office many moons ago. Did you have a proper room at least there?
I had an office. So when I first joined, the design studio was me.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
So I had an office, and it was funny. Larry had built this little rear view mirror in there because I was just in a corner office, and so the agents wouldn't sneak up on me. I had this rear view mirror, so I could just kind of catch it and just see someone sneaking up behind me before they flew into my office. But I just had an office there, and as the work grew, so did the team. Yeah. And as Sage grew, so did the team, and we kind of evolved into Karen and Jenna are still there today. And
was Jenna the second hire?
Jenna was the second one, and then Karen. So we've been there almost 40 years combined.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've all been together for a long time, and we kind of at that time they put us all in they knocked down a few offices, made a little marketing department. Yeah. And when we moved to Yonge Street, we got a corner office. We thought we're doing great, and then that turned into a studio.
Were you guys upstairs?
Yeah, okay. We were upstairs at Yonge, and then they turned that into a studio as we grew. And because of just demand and trying to do everything, we also got a print shop alongside when that was available. So, yeah.
And that's one of the big reasons. I remember when I met with Evan and Larry before joining Sage, they're like, this is where we are, but we got big plans of what's to come. Just trust us on this. We're changing offices and all these things. And it's wild that you say it's only been 14 years because it does seem, in some instances, a lot longer and some like yesterday. I remember the first time we met at Baby. But the evolution from a room with a rear view mirror to an entire division with, I don't know how many printers and color-coded secret codes and schemes now. And
100%. So one thing, the first time I had a listing at Sage, and what you guys hit me up with on, I knew immediately you had systems in play because it was like one email, hey guys, I got a listing coming up, and you guys were like, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want... Everything was so ready to go and targeted. I can't explain how valuable that is. There's already so much being scattered when you're a realtor and you're trying to tackle everything you need to do in your checklist, and have you guys kind of come up and be able to just assist in such the perfect way where you fill the gaps that are so necessary to be filled. So being alone to start with and then coming to where you are now with a full team, I'm guessing that all those systems were slowly put into place. That was you who kind of started building that?
Yeah, and as we grew, we all kind of have input into them, and we still do today. If things aren't working, we change them. And you kind of have to be, because Sage's model is to market properties to the fullest extent, get as many eyes on these properties as you possibly can, so you can get the most amount of money for the buyers. And so when you're doing this many things, things are bound to fall through the cracks, or things are not going to work. And so just trial and error, you kind of have to come up with these systems and change them as you go. We're constantly, during the slow times in December, updating our processes, making sure everything works, making sure, constantly changing these things, because there's just so much that we promise our agents and our clients that we want to do these things. And as more and more things are happening, we're adding to this list. We want to make sure that nothing's missed, and we're absolutely getting it out in a timely manner too, right? So it's just important that we're constantly changing those. Yeah. But they originally started, but the team has a lot of input on it.
Yeah. Everyone's got a piece of the puzzle.
As we're all going through the pieces, we were like, okay, this isn't working. What can we do?
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I'll be, especially with the church project we have, I met a lot of agents and they're all like, oh, Sage, you guys have the best design listings.
100%.
Unfortunately, they think we're the ones who are doing it. They don't know that we have an entire team of hardworking people kind of with heads down making this happen. And I think what I most appreciate about what you guys do is creativity is such an artistic thing, but you guys have the business mindset where everything is so processed, like Joy's saying. And that allows us to, within a week or two, go from a meeting with a client to a finally finished package, glossy book, not even a 4-sheeter anymore. It's gotten so much, it's evolved so much more. So maybe talk to us about like how our deliverables have expanded from a simple, 1-page brochure that used to cut it 10 years ago to now some of the crazy things you guys are pumping out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it used to be just, you did a feature sheet and maybe you posted it somewhere like online or on your own personal website or something. But part of the marketing package that we're doing now is kind of really expand. And now that we have the print shop, we're able to do even more because it's all about that timely matter, right? Because you want to be able to turn around quickly. If you want to do just listed cards, if you want to do these nicer feature sheets and things, it has to be turned around. So as we get more and more equipment and more people, we're able to offer more. But, now we're building individual listing websites, because it's so important for the client to be about the client, right? To have that website that's just dedicated to their property in a place, nowadays, I think all the buyers are online, right?
Yeah.
So to have those websites, we're doing social media ads, e-blasts, feature sheets, postcards, and then all of these other little things as they become available, like hood cues and floor plans that are, more and more people are doing floor plans and these things too, just being able to do all of these things and just give the client the absolute most, right? So as we grew, we're able to add on these things and offer even more to these marketing packages. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest unique attributes that Sage brings to the table is that we have this powerful arm that does all that. Because if you and I, even Joey and I as a team, we don't have enough time in the day to even put together 10% of what they're able to do in a quick one-day turnaround. And that's what gives a lot of our listings the competitive advantage is that we can send out, which is an open house this weekend, I know within 48 hours he'll have Post-it cards in my hand that I can go and put on every door. Whereas if we had to do it manually,
100% to the speed and the quality that it gets done with the proper hands in place, it's insane how the level up that you guys bring to the table.
Yeah, and it's super valuable to have the print shop and have our own equipment to be able to control that quality and just to be able to do it in a timely manner, right? Is just great to have all the equipment that we do have in the print shop right now too.
Now, is there one project that really sticks out to you that you're proud of or one that you put together, aside from our business cards and branding, which you did an amazing job on?
I don't know if there's one single project. I mean, the branding projects in general are always more fun. Designers always have more fun on them.
Right.
I've recently worked on one with Jenny and Shane, and it was just a lot of fun to work with them and kind of see their stuff evolve. And they're really, when you're working on these branding projects, it's really fun to just have that initial meeting and just see where it grows from. And so there's a lot more reward in that. There's reward in all the design, but there's a reward. It's just for designers, just being able to bring those brands to life is really rewarding. But just in general, just the fact that we have this studio, I mean, like you said, in Bayview, I was just in an office and being able to work with Sage to the point where we're at now, right down to all the equipment we've brought in and the amazing team that I work with. I mean, that in itself is just something, is a project that I've loved working on. So,
the process of going from one small corner to this entire building now.
Building like an in-house studio and print shop. I was heavily involved with Sage and lucky enough that they valued my input and helped grow that out. So,
And shout out Jenny and Shane. We did a deal with them. The first deal, there's a big connection with Jenny and Shane. The first deal that when Joey and I started to work together, I was on my honeymoon. And I'm like, I'm gone. You deal with this. And Jenny and Shane were the agents on the other side.
100%.
They were at a separate brokerage at the time. And they've been with us probably a year.
Yeah, I think it's just over a year now.
Yeah. We're going to link to them because their marketing is really great. They're hyper local. They really dominate the East End.
Really local marketing. And that was part of the fun of doing was the local marketing because we knew in talking to them, we knew that, hey, you guys are very local. All these pieces, from sponsoring events and, different beaches flyers and things that they do were just really local. And so it was a lot of fun just to kind of come up with those concepts that were going to work and colors and things to make it memorable. But still, it was a lot of fun to work on.
Yeah.
Right. I was actually going to ask you that. I know when we did ours, Mark is very, very, it's probably one of the most dialed in people when it comes to the design world, more than I would expect anyways.
Yeah. I'm learning to let go and trusted JP, but that's a fair statement.
But that being said, like, how do you find agent to agent? Like, is it just like a really wild spectrum, or do you find that agents are kind of dialed in what they're looking for and what they're asking for? Or is there a lot of...
I'll try not to get in trouble. No, agent to agents it's all very different because every agent is working with a different client base. I mean, because obviously you guys know, like, if as an agent, you probably really have that dream kind of clientele that you want to work in that dream area, and that's the ideal situation. So agent to agent, it's just different depending on one, where they're kind of working, or like, are they just really into hard lofts, or are they into lease side, houses, or so agent to agent is very different. And then agent to agent, some market more than others, so a lot of them will have just a lot of marketing pieces, so we get used to it, because we get one thing that Sage does really well is they allow agents to have their own brand and be very brand forward, and for Sage to just be RICO compliant and just be on the pieces, right? So we're able to, kind of have everything kind of lined up, because we have built their brand out, built out the brand pieces. We know the marketing they're going to do. So agent to agent, it makes it a little easier, because we're able to just kind of do their pieces. Yeah.
Love it.
I don't know if that answered the question, but.
Well, that's a pass. I'll give him a check mark. Were you involved in the rebranding of the Sage colors and all that?
We worked alongside with a company called Block Design. Yeah. Okay. So I was involved in it, and we involved Block, and we all worked together to kind of come up with that stuff. And
yeah, it's quite impressive. Sage would be considered, I guess more of definitely an independent brokerage, but a medium to large size independent brokerage. And I think what's the official color of our Sage before I? Is it like a lavender green? Or?
We just call it blue gray.
Blue gray. I wouldn't guess that. So
but you can call it whatever you want.
Okay, I'm going to call it blue gray because I don't want to get Larry upset. It stands out in such a unique way, where most signs are very bold and either black or white, and we've got this blue gray kind of that sticks out amongst the pack. So it's come a long way from what it once was. I think the original logo of Sage was literally like sage.
Yeah, it was like a green. Yeah, and they had leaves. Yeah, that was before my time.
Yeah.
When they first kind of launched. I can't remember the name of the marketing company they used, but they were actually had the sage. I assume sage leaves.
Yes,
and green, and they had a very deep green color and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about tech and trends, because I think that's one thing that's definitely evolved from. When we first started working to where we are now. Obviously, AI is a huge component of a lot of the systems that everyone's using. Simple question: are you a fan or not of AI? Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing with technology is that people are afraid of it.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be. And you shouldn't be worried about it either. I don't think it's quite there to take away graphic design jobs yet.
Yeah.
So I am a fan because there's a lot of it integrated into our Adobe suites, which are the design programs that we use.
Right.
That makes life a lot easier when it comes to photoshopping and adding things and just the tricks of the trade and being able to mock up swag and stuff like that. Like there's beautiful AI things that are integrated into that's amazing.
Yeah, I think the big fear that everyone has is this going to take my job away, and the way I've kind of seen you guys incorporate is, if anything, it's only enhancing your job and making the quality better, but you still need to be there to direct it and to make it go in that.
Yeah, you have to give it the prompts, you have to be able to direct it, and then as a designer, I think it's going to really weed out and just bring designers to the fold, because when you're going through these branding things, you still have to have those conversations, and it's not going to put the pieces together for you yet, right?
Right. It's an assist right now. It's like a little for specific items. It does a good job of just hitting that targeted hit. Basically.
It allows you to focus on the big things,
right? Yeah. And are there any trends that you're like, it's time to move on from?
I probably won't be liked for saying this, but I'm over QR codes. When I first started, in Sage, we actually had a hanger or a rider on our sign, and we'd buy a URL and we'd have a hanger and with a QR code on it.
Yeah.
And back then you actually had to download a QR code app.
Yeah.
And I think after that there was a program that came out called Layer that was a similar thing where you scanned a photo and it would bring you somewhere as well. So I've been through all of that, and then COVID happened and we have to scan QR codes again. They're fine. I mean, I get it. It's easy. I mean, I'd have to look into some stats about how many people are actually scanning these things, because that's what you really want to know, is how many people are actually scanning these.
Yeah.
But I just think that one person sees a QR code and then everybody kind of jumps on, like, we got to put a QR code. Let's put a QR code here. Let's put this on my business card. And it just, I don't scan them only to check to make sure they're working for our agents.
Hey, I've tried to do it out the window when I was driving past the sign once, and it does not collect it. It's blurry enough by the time the distance hits.
There's only one use case for a QR code, and it's on my restaurant menu, so I can see more photos of what I'm eating. Anywhere else, I totally agree. And I'm glad you said, actually didn't, I wasn't expecting you to say that at all.
I know a lot of people love them. It's just, personally,
you're right.
I don't use them. And
It first of all, they're from a design standpoint, they're absolutely hideous to look at.
It completely ruins whatever design the flow of any design you're trying to do.
Absolutely. We've got these gorgeous centerfold, visions of our listings, and then there's this ugly black blotch that's like the Warshik test. What do you see when you look at this? Butterflies and terrible listings.
And there is a place to use them, but I think a lot of people are missing the point of using them right, because they're just putting them places without any instruction on really what you're getting by scanning this QR code, because that, that's just the call to action at the end of the design piece. Right. If you are going to use it, is that you really are drawing them through this piece to get them to scan this thing. Right. I think they're just being put everywhere without thought.
Yeah, I agreed. I think it's.
Take it easy on me in the comments.
No, you got that, Adriana S. She's super excited that we're doing this with you, by the way, because I always tell her when we talk about the podcast, I'm like, "Oh, JP said this," and I said JP's going to be on there, and she gave me a stern warning. I told you off camera. She's like, "You better put him in the best light. You better promote Sage to the fullest." So, Adriana S.
And I appreciate her.
Yeah.
She's a wise woman.
All right, let's talk about some strategies. Is there, certain things agents should be thinking about when they're marketing a listing that you prioritize over others? Is it photos? Is it colors? Is it a combination?
Well, I think, again, what Sage is doing and offering just a complete comprehensive package is that there's so many things that you guys can take advantage of at our brokerage, at least. Yeah. So, I mean, for us, it's theirs to try and encourage everybody to use it all, because the age-old saying, no one has a crystal ball. You don't know where that buyer is going to come from, whether it's a postcard or the sign or these things. But I do realize the stats from NAR and things like that say the sign is 40% of buyers come from signs and postcards and things like that. So most of the stuff is online nowadays, which is a big part of why we have the individual listing website, and why if you do have extra money to spend or something, sometimes putting it into that social media ad, just to kind of get views on it, is just very helpful. But I think all the pieces together work really well, because you just don't know where that person's going to come from. Mm-hmm. And you want to be able to tell your clients that you've tried to get as many eyeballs on it as possible.
Yeah, maybe can you run down, you don't have to give the whole KFC, secret ingredients, but what are all the offerings that an average agent can give for their sellers?
Well, first we offer... we buy a unique domain for every listing. Yep. So if you live on Best Street, we get 123 Best Street, and that's just dedicated to you. It's not about Sage or the agents or anything. That's about your home, and it's a place for everybody to go get all the information, floor plans, pictures, everything.
Like one central hub,
One central hub for everything that you can, and then you can push that website through the other marketing pieces too, which is what we do when you have a for sale sign, because the for sale sign is really function, right? It's for sale. Where do I get information? So we put a URL hanger on that, which again drives to the website. We do print material, which is postcards and feature sheets, or open house cards, which are really popular. Do that neighborhood open house postcard to kind of get the neighbors, again, as many people as you can get in the home as possible. Once the website and things are approved, we do e-blast or MailChimps. We do syndication across different global networks and things like that, both luxury, and then there's like 130 different networks that we kind of push that website out across the globe. So we do all of those things there as well. And then we also do social media ads. So Sage will give you a little bit towards that, and that's where I'm saying that's the nice one to up if you do, because it's a really good thing to show your clients. But we do pump that one out too, and it all kind of drives to a digital place where people like to search and get all the information they can in one spot. And that's what the user experience is about, giving them the information all in one spot so they can kind of look.
We often talk about the shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, there's this new thing, we better jump in and do it. And funny experience, when I had the listing in Oakville, that was the first time I utilized the postcards. It's like, let me give it a shot. I I had 3 people call me off of 12 by 12 card that got sent to their mail. And so I think as agents, we think like, oh, those methods don't work anymore. Everyone's about AI and whatever new trick is out there. And it's like, no, these tried and tested ways that have worked for many years still resonate with a lot of potential buyers and future sellers out there. So what's really good is you help us cast our net into the widest audience. And when I say our net, I mean like the listing of our clients gets just, I think, pumped.
They get the full package. Yeah. That's the beauty of the systems in play, is like when you're, what we're able to offer our clients is this really comprehensive, and having a whole, not just brain, but like full team and workshop where people are allowed to kind of, that's your sole focus is just how can we keep everybody on track and make sure we're checking all the boxes as we go through the systems. It's super helpful to buyers and sellers whenever they come tag along with a Sage agent.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, I don't know, latest number around 80,000 agents. And so what makes us 150 Sage agents different than the rest? A big portion when we go into listings is that we have a fully equipped marketing team that's not just, filling out Canva. I know Canva is not a word we're allowed to say in your presence, but I'm going to say it anyways.
I'm shutting this down.
But I actually like that you push back against Canva. I'm a big Canva guy, and you're like, that's cool, but if you want amateur work, keep doing it. If you want professional work, give it to us. And every time you say that, it comes out 10 times better because you guys have had the schooling.
Well, Canva's great, but it's essentially a template program, right? So it's great to use and to do things quickly and stuff like that. But when you're working with your brand, you want to stand out. You want the message to stand out. Right. You want to bring the client through a card or whatever you're working on. So that's where designers come in.
Yeah, right? That's the difference between the amateurs and the professionals, where it's like you could pump out a quick Instagram post using Canva, but when it comes time to present this $3 million house, you want a fancy brochure, you want a thick booklet, you want
the magazine quality.
The magazine quality. Yeah. What's that soft leather material?
Oh, just like soft laminate?
Soft laminate, yeah. Oh, when I get that in my hands, like, this is quality.
Yeah, say what you want about digital. People are still very tactile in what they want, when you're going to listing presentations or when you're going through a home or something like that. And all those little things add to it, too. I mean, if you're going into a luxury listing and you pick up a feature sheet, it also should feel luxury, right? So,
and we're in a difficult market where these little things that sometimes get overlooked or as frivolous expenses that we shouldn't be spending on are more important than I think they've ever been. And that's what just sets a good listing apart. And when you're seeing 20 condos, you're going to remember the one with the fancy leather bounded book and the QR code, if you so choose to have one in there, that takes you to the
nothing wrong with QR codes.
Yeah. But like that's what I'm saying. It's definitely sets us apart. So what would be like the one area that you wished agents would spend more time on from a design and marketing standpoint? Like what's the, you must have this from a design standpoint.
Well, I think the biggest thing, and this probably doesn't have much to do with us doing it, but like from us marketing your stuff, is that I think the time of not doing professional photos and floor plans, that's years ago, right? Yeah. So I think that's the one thing that agents should really be focusing their budget on, because that just makes all the difference. I mean, you talked about staging and stuff too, which makes all the difference, but like professional photography, floor plans, like over the years I've seen floor plan. Here's the crumpled up floor plan from the developer that I took a picture of, right? But I think those days are behind us, and that's where you should be spending, because with that you can just really put out good marketing. Even if you're doing the minimal marketing, it looks really good, it looks really crisp, it looks professional, and it'll represent the client and the buyer, right?
Yeah, which makes sense, because it's also, I mean, it makes when your job becomes easier and funner to do is probably when you have that good foundation to work off of, right?
Yeah,
that makes a ton of sense. So, random question on a little bit of a different note. Do you have a favorite, I guess, style of house to work on? Like, is there do you have a preference in terms of like when you get to do some of the old houses or something like custom new build, or is there anything that you have preference on it?
I think everybody's probably different because everyone has a different style. Like we all get listings come. I mean, it's amazing. We see so many listings come through and we get to look at them all. We're like, oh, this is really cool. But I think the cooler the house, like if it's a really cool house and it just kind of has these luxury things or just some cool features, it's always a little bit more fun because you're already immediately encapsulated by these photos and what's going on with this thing. So you're already kind of invested in this and like, oh, this is really cool. Let's do this. So I think some of those nicer homes that just have really those really nice features that you don't typically see are a little bit more fun than a lot of the condos look the same, no matter if the developer says they look different, they look the same to me.
So what you're saying is the 600 square foot one bed condo is not your favorite.
No. But if you get some of these houses with some of these incredible features that you don't often see, or these older style homes and things that you don't often see, there's often fun. Also, like from a brand perspective, with so many agents having brands, sometimes you're just drawn into, I'm excited to work with this brand. I know they're going to do all these things and stuff too. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to shout out Alex Brott in this moment because she seems to get some of the coolest
most
looking
unique places. Yeah.
She covers the spectrum from modern to traditional and everything in between. And every time I see an Alex listing, I'm like, I'm just going to spend 10 minutes dreaming about what's going to be there.
Definitely, she did some really cool listings,
Yeah.
and she does a really great job at staging them too. They're
Yeah.
just like, it's incredible. Yeah.
She's always been on the forefront. I think even before she joined Sage, I remember always seeing her listings and being like, whoa, how do you attract like such excellent quality of homes to sell and whatnot? And she puts her touch on it all.
She puts her touch, and she puts in the marketing, and it just represents really well for her and her clients. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of started the whole like putting some thought into the marketing descriptions.
Yeah.
She always has a little, not a Pitbull level of wording, but just,
It's-
right
yeah,
in that realm.
it's thought out, yeah.
Yeah. There's always a bit of a rhyme for the first opening sentence. I see so many agents try to replicate it. I don't know if she originated it, but she always sticks out as the first to do something a little bit
And they're
different.
usually always original too, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
So in the descriptions, you see a lot of the same words,
Yeah.
robust and these things
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over again. Right. So she had her stuff was always very unique too. Yeah.
And before AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell an AI listing all day long. Yeah, there's certain keywords. We might have a downloadable PDF that you could reference, but you just know you're like, oh, this guy put it through ChatGPT, free version, not even the paid one. So have you ever had an agent come back to you like directly because of your marketing, we sold this place?
A lot of agents do when they do sell it, they come back and say, listen, the marketing was fantastic. And especially from the client perspective, they're like, the client was just so impressed because, once it sells, the client is very happy, but also just from the perspective of like the client was just so impressed with the marketing. You guys blew it out of the water. And that's always nice to hear because we often just hear sold and then we're just going to sold mode and we don't, so it's nice to hear those comments, especially when the client is really impressed with some of the marketing pieces.
Yeah. I'm sure this has never happened, but have you ever had to like redo a place because the client was like, oh gosh, this is...
No. Sometimes clients will have photos retaken and stuff, so we'll have to redo it on that perspective, but not from a design or marketing side.
That's what a seasoned professional gets you. Yeah. No returnsies, just straight money done. I love it. Get into some of the fun stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the fun stuff. What do you think is one of the weirdest things you've had to Photoshop out of a house?
Yeah, okay. I specifically wrote this question because I got my favorite Photoshop from you specifically when I talked about my dream car, and I got a Forerunner of what was it? It was a limousine Forerunner, a party bus type of situation, and I loved every second of it.
We actually, it's funny because I wish I had like a more fun answer, but like we actually don't get a lot of crazy Photoshopping requests.
Okay.
I think it's one because a lot of our agents are so invested in the staging part of things and just that attention to detail. So a lot of it is just taken care of with professional photos before we come. And that's just part of being a Sage agent is we get that stuff too. And then also there's a ton of like, and this is maybe not, I'm ruining the fun answer, but, but the marketing side of things too, you have to be careful what you Photoshop out in a real estate listing because that deal has to close and you have to dance that line of false advertising, right? Yeah. So we can take out something like a recycling bin or a TV cord, but like the power lines or those things that are permanent, we have to be very careful of what we take out or change. Like if there's a hole in the wall, unless you're changing it, that hole has to stay in the wall, So oftentimes we don't get a lot of fun stuff because it's, we have to be careful what we actually Photoshop out of that stuff. I've seen some stuff that I wish we could have Photoshopped out, but
was it a Montreal Canadiens jersey?
It definitely was not. No.
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
It's an interesting question. It's probably going to be completely random, but when I'm not in the city and on the computer, I completely love to be outdoors.
Love it.
That's what I love. I would probably be doing something completely different, like homesteading or a farmer or something that I could be
Something in
outside,
nature.
in the
Love
woods, in the nature.
Yeah.
I would go the completely opposite direction, because when I'm not designing, like I work hard and I play hard, and,
Yeah.
and as soon as I'm not designing, I have a truck that I load up with my dog and I'm gone. So that's,
We didn't even talk about the four-legged friends of the Sage office.
No, we
We
didn't.
should definitely get into that. Tell us about those. I was trying to figure out how to word it. We got a lot of dogs in the office.
We do,
How
yeah.
did this happen? I feel like overnight we get there, I'm like, whoa.
Well, one of our colleagues, Abby, who is always behind the design email and doing amazing there.
Yep.
She has a puppy named Matcha, who she got about a year and a half ago. And so Matcha is a permanent fixture in the studio. She comes in every day with us and is there. And then through Abby, I just wanted a dog for a long time, and she introduced me to her breeder. And I ended up getting Piper, and she came a lot quicker than I thought. So they came along a lot quicker. So they're both around the same age, and now they run around and they run the studio. Really, it's not actually me; it's just the dogs. But they came along, and they're great company, and
Yeah.
people love coming in to see them.
Yep.
And they're running around and stuff too. So it's great. It's great to have them there. But yeah, they're permanent fixtures in the studio, and they're actually half sisters too.
Oh,
okay.
It turns out, even though they're different breeds, that Bingo, their father, is a busy fella, and
Okay.
he's the father of both of them. Yeah,
have you met Bingo?
I've met Bingo.
Legend.
Yeah, he's a busy miniature poodle. But,
It's our business can be so stressful and so much we have to deal with, and I love going to the design studio to pick up brochures or whatever. Sometimes I'll just pop in to say hi, because you get these two. What's the breed of the dog?
mine's a country doodle Piper, and then Matcha is a cockapoo.
Okay, these two beautiful brown dogs, and they're just
Yeah.
full of energy, and they run and they greet you and they kiss you, and you're just like, you know what? I don't mind that.
They're good in stressful situations. When
Yeah.
you guys are
Yeah.
running and busy as all hell, you get to take a look.
Yeah, well,
around
if we think someone's going to be mad, we just send them in first.
Send the dogs in first. That's a good listing strategy.
Yeah.
And you take your dog with you on the weekends. The one thing I follow you on the gram, and one thing I love that you do is it's a completely off the grid weekend. You kind of do.
Yeah, I always just try to. I love the off grid ones the most. If I can find a camping spot where I'm just completely off grid, I enjoy that the most. As soon as you guys can't do this, you're realtors, but as soon as I am off, I can throw my phone in the glove box, and then that doesn't come back out, and I can just kind of recharge. Because as creatives too, like, your mind is always going. You constantly have to have that idea. You're constantly thinking things and then running the studio too. So it's nice to be able to go to these locations where you can just kind of unwind. Mm-hmm. And then I also have really taken up with the Ontario provincial parks. There's just so many of them here that I literally bought this map on Amazon that's just a map of the 100 Ontario parks, or however many there are, and you just scratch them off as you visit them. So I'm just trying to hit as many as I possibly can. So I think I've hit 15 different ones already.
Wow.
And I just take the truck. I have a tent for the back of the truck, and I take Piper. She's got the whole back seat. That's her queen spot. So so we just go out and just, we're just trying to find whatever spot we haven't been to. So I think, we've hit 15 different. We've repeated a few of them because they're amazing, but there's just so many Ontario parks. It's incredible here.
And that's like in a year and a half. You've hit these.
Yes. 15. Well, I went to a few before I got the truck, but I've been hitting them pretty hard. Yeah.
What's your favorite Ontario spot?
Well, there is one off-grid one that I found on Airbnb outside of Bancroft that I like to go to.
Okay.
They just have a massive property, and way back on the back acreage, there's this old dirt road that goes up there, and they've got an outhouse and a picnic table up there, and you're on top of the hill overlooking the lake, and it's just incredible. But I am fond of Bon Echo.
Okay.
It's just outside of Tweed.
Okay.
So I do like going. I've gone back to that one a few times as well. Yeah.
Right on. Maybe we'll get that for the show notes.
100%.
We don't go north of Lawrence, so Tweed, Ontario sounds interesting. You and I have a shared passion of Lego.
We do. Yeah.
Do you like Lego, Joey?
I mean, I don't not like Lego, but I don't collect Lego.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't
not to the extent that I've seen.
Okay. I have a collection, but JP's got a collection. Tell us about all the Lego miniature figures you guys got in the
Did
studio.
not know this, and I'm so excited to hear this.
Well, in the studio, first, I totally believe that I had a design professor once when we went into his office, like it was just wall to wall. It was like just like I won't say hoarders, but it was like a museum of just things going on in there, eclectic, everything. Yeah. And he told me that, this is your office. You spend so much time here that you have to make it your own, and it has to be a creative space. So way back when I started buying these Lego minifigures, and I first started buying them for me, Karen, and Jenna back on Bayview Avenue in our little space. And so that has taken over the studio because it turns out that all adults are into Legos. Yeah. Even if you don't think you are, once you get that first Lego, and even if it's a minifigure and put it together, it just becomes a thing. You start collecting them. It's I don't know. It does say 2 to 99. I mean, you're out of luck. You're out of luck if you're 100, but it does say 2 to 99. So we just started collecting those, and then from there, every once in a while, I'd buy myself a treat like Lego build, and I'm really into Batman, which is no secret to anyone that knows me. So I just have I have too many Batmans. Some of them aren't even built because I'm just like, I need that. I do not need that. Yeah. But the one I did buy for myself was a $300. It's the 1989 Michael Keaton Batmobile.
No.
And it's about this big.
Oh,
it takes up a whole shelf, and it's just, it's incredible.
It built?
Yeah, it's completely built. Yeah.
You done it, yeah.
Yeah, it took me, it was like 18 bags of Legos or something. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So, I do have that one that's built, and then I have a lot of other different cars and things, Mustangs and stuff too. And then a lot of Batman that I still have the build, but I have too many. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Clarity. You can never have too many.
It's an investment, right?
It is. Yeah, of course. It's so funny. We said that, I know the experience. You buy a box of Lego and you're like, this is so cool. And the second you buy it, it's almost like, well, now that I have it, do I want to build it or just stare at it? I'll go through a couple of days of what am I going to do with this one? Then you crack it open, you're like, committed now.
Yeah, and you need the space too, because it takes a lot of storage space. Yeah. So, you need to be able to display it. You don't want to undo it and put it back in the box.
Can you even?
I don't know.
I think that's sacrilegious.
Do people do that? I hope no one does that. But you want to have that prime display, right?
Yeah. How many figurines would you estimate you have of the little brick guys?
Ooh, I've definitely got at least 200 or those, I would think. I would think they're all over the place, yeah. But, they're everywhere. But it's just a fun thing. They launch those minifigures, I think, every 6 months. Yeah. Right now is the Formula One one.
The F1 one, yeah. I'm super excited about that.
But, they launch them every 6 months, and it's just something for us to do. And it's something to do together as a team, too. Just to be able to open them. And what'd you get? And, something fun to do before you start your day, right?
Yeah. So, speaking of Batman, who do you think is your biggest villain? The biggest villain in the Gotham series? Who's the biggest villain to Batman?
Oh, to Batman?
Yeah.
The Joker, you mean?
It's your opinion.
Oh, it's definitely the Joker. I feel like the Joker has been the most iconic villain overall. Even from an acting perspective, it's Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. I think the Joker is definitely the guy. Yeah.
Number one.
Not my pick.
Yeah. No.
Who's your pick?
Mr. Freeze.
Oh, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He just seems like the most chaotic of them all.
Maybe a better Mr. Freeze, but maybe the comic book Mr. Freeze. But,
it was an awkward time in the Batman series when Schwarzenegger came out. Okay, we're wrapping it up here, but what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone who wants to get into the creative space of marketing real estate?
In real estate particularly?
Well, two-part answer. In real estate and then design in general.
If you're just getting into design, I think the most important thing is just to remember to have some fun and just learn to find your own creative space. We've had conversations with the team. One of my colleagues asked a really great question, which was what if you were to compare something to your creative process, what would it be? And it's, everybody's creative differently. And it's, I think, just important to be creative, let yourself be creative, especially as you're going through the schooling. Have some fun, be creative, because there's going to be lots of times that you're going to have to do what the client wants later on in life. So just have some fun and be creative.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Yeah,
it seems like you thought about this. Your solo trips out in the country.
Well, fostering creativity is a big part of my job, having a full team too, right? So I'm always trying to find ways to foster everyone's creativity in the studio and still have fun, right? Real estate is hectic. You guys know, right? It's busy, it's fast. You've got to get things done quickly, but that doesn't mean that the design should hurt or it shouldn't be fun, right?
Right. Good answer.
Yeah, I like that. Last question.
Yeah.
Anything Sage agents could do to make your life easier?
All right, I'll try not to get in trouble. Well, we talked about it. We're so process oriented.
Yeah.
Like incredibly process oriented. So the biggest thing for us is we're going to take care of you. We're going to do all the pieces. We're going to give you those lists like you mentioned. Just let us know about the listing. We have these processes and forms that stuff's coming up, and you guys know how calendars work and how those listing things come along. And,
Yep.
you know, just don't forget about us, right? So the more time we have, because when we, you know, we could get double-digit listings in a day.
Right.
So we're trying to plan that day ahead of time, and we're trying to make sure that we've got the staff and the right people in the right places, that we've got the supplies in, that we've got the paper in, that we're trying to do all those things. So the more notice that we have is just incredibly helpful for us to get these domains lined up and all these things. So that's the biggest thing, is just let us know.
Yeah.
Notice.
Appreciate that.
I like it.
Well, we do that.
Yeah.
We give you notice.
Yeah.
We've been yelled at enough that we've learned our lessons. To give
Yeah,
you
everyone's pretty good. Everyone's pretty good.
yeah. Man, this has been great. I really appreciate the fact that you helped kind of peel behind the curtains, because I don't think people see this whole other side of the business that we have. Thankfully, someone to take care of for us.
And I think designers like it that way too. I don't think I think they like to be behind the curtain.
Yeah. Well, you're a natural of podcasting. I'll give you that much. Yeah. We were joking off air, but no, you nailed it really well. So, any finishing touches, Joey?
No, I think that's awesome to have you on. Big shout out to the entire crew in general.
Yeah, we should say it is a whole crew that makes it.
There is 11 of us total.
11?
Yeah, so including me, there's 11. There's Jenna, Karen, Abby, Andrea, Anna, Nat, Fiza, Esther, Max. Did I hit 10? Yeah.
Close enough.
I'll be in trouble if I had missed someone.
And then we got the dogs, Matcha and Piper.
Piper and Matcha, who actually run the studio, right? Yeah, the most important parts of the puzzle there.
Yeah, love it. Well, big thank you for coming out, and thank you to everyone who helps put our listings and make them look so good.
100%.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been amazing. So fun.
Cool.
Wear those hats with pride.
Oh. Absolutely.
Bushman.
I'll see you at Christy Pins later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catch you in the bush. Gotta work on our heckles.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Toronto Livings Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivingswithans.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.